you said you were familiar with the term before. Is it just because everyone in the DR calls Lotus Eaters Carl and his merry band of Twinks? Because I've seen the accusation leveled at us.
What? A twink is an incredibly common term among men of our generation, and especially with women, just saying twink. I lived in Manchester. I knew gay people. Of course, I've known.
Oh, yeah,
twinks.
you lived on Canal Street.
No, I didn't live there, but I knew
He was just there very regularly.
Yeah, exactly. I knew people who may as well have lived there, all right?
The rent doesn't pay itself, does it?
For those of our audience who are blissfully unaware of what this means, I found this piece. This is like where the sort of culture started. The 2018 piece in the New York Times Magazine, because they only do hard-hitting journalism over there. And some bloke responded to the popularity of a film called Call Me By Your Name. Now,
I have, unfortunately.
yeah, I was chatting
Is
to
that the one with Harry Styles?
No, it's with Timothée Chalamet, but I don't blame you for getting those two weirdos confused. I got sat down and encouraged to watch it by some girl I was chatting to at the time.
Can I just interrupt? What I love about Harry, right, is he's completely embraced twink death by getting crumbs in his beard. That's a core part
Oh,
of
are
twink.
they?
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
that's a core
You're
part.
Hagrid maxing.
Well, if we get the pictures up, we'll see just how severe.
we have
the
this
twink
in
death
store,
is.
don't worry.
Yeah.
So this was defined after Call Me By Your Name came out, which is a film where Timothée Chalamet plays like some pool boy in the south of France, and an older man played by Armie Hammer, who has since been kicked out of Hollywood for being a literal cannibal.
Of all the things to get kicked out
I
of
thought you were going
Hollywood
to say
for.
paedophile.
Yeah.
I was about to say.
Well, the
I
film
was
is
gonna say
actually
that's-
about noncing, basically.
It's about
works
cannibal
in
people.
So he
normal
played
lives.
a nonce, but he
He was a paedophile.
right.
Wait, what?
He's right. He was
No,
playing a
other way
paedophile,
round,
but he was
sorry.
a cannibal.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
My bad.
Isn't Hollywood magical?
Yeah, makes sense. Glad I'm not there.
So in this article, it says, although the origin of the term has been disputed, some trace its history to twank, 1920s British slang.
Is that when a Yorkshireman spends some
That does
time on
sound
his
like a
own?
proper... You bloody swank. Yeah, my dad's
That's
saying.
the widow from all of the pantomimes, isn't it? Well, I'm really glad that Britain's exporting its best to the rest of the world. For a client of gay male prostitutes, glad this is a standard being applied to us gents, while others insist it's a vulgar riff on the cream-filled hostess snack. But apparently, twinks are young, attractive, hairless and slim men.
They're what? Sorry.
They're young, attractive, hairless and slim men.
They're,
Attractive by whose standard?
well, yeah, that's the
By
que-
gay
they're-
male standards.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Yes.
That's the point.
By older gay male standards.
Pretty boy.
Yes.
They are essentially what you said in your liberalism in part 3 closing remarks, of where liberalism makes young men who are doughy soy boys without arms and without morals.
Yeah, and they're all pictured there.
Well,
I think you were both wrong on that, and disastrously so, and very ironically so. I gave you the dilemma between a world on violence and beefy dudes on the one hand, and a world of let's say people who are less beefy, but with no violence, and you pick the world with violence and beefy dudes.
yeah, because those are the virtuous ones, because otherwise you get
Well,
that.
Well, no. I will give one thing for the the Twink universe that Stelios is establishing, which is if you are the one beefy dude, it's really easy to be top of the food chain.
Yeah, but
You could beat anybody up.
Yeah, but that is just an entropic perspective, isn't it? So if you've got the universe of beefy dudes, then everyone has to work really hard to become the beefiest dude. But if you're the beefy dude in a universe full of twinks, then you're just literally just going to be like, well,
I could snap them in two.
Yeah, but-
Stelios
yeah, but
didn't
you-
That's
say-
what they want, Harry.
Oh, no.
you
No,
yourself,
that split them in two.
yeah, you yourself, though, will become weaker and enervated yourself because you won't be constantly, the steel sharpens the steel, and you won't be getting that.
I suppose so. You've got
But it's a very twinkish mentality to want the beefy dudes.
Stelios, to steelman what you said, you didn't
Thanks,
say you're
Josh.
getting rid of hierarchy or competition, just violence.
But that is what's
Yeah.
happened.
But that's
that
how
is
you establish hierarchy
Yeah.
and competition.
All right.
Dude, like the classical way of men solving problems was, you want to take this outside then, do you?
They want to take
That
it
still
inside.
happens at pubs.
Yeah, but that's
They want to take it upstairs.
but that's Jordan Peterson's point. It's like all male interaction is underpinned by the potential threat of violence, and actually not with these guys, right? Like no one looks at those and goes, "Yeah, well, I don't want to have an argument with them because it is underpinned by the potential threat of violence." They probably
Perhaps
get-
the pillow begs to differ.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly that. Right? And so, yeah, no, I'm not in favor of this. I'm totally in favor of just normalcy.
Right, the reason they're in favour of this is because this is a sort of dialectical progression towards the soy boy for straight men, because they say in here,
Gateway drug for it, is it?
emphasis on the gay.
Dialectical possession is the right way to affirm.
Are you a Gnostic?
You're a Gnostic Twink, Stelios. So this stellar author, Nick, writes, female body types have always cycled in and out of style. Who has set fashion trends? We'll skate over that.
Is that even true? Could you take, like, the hourglass female form anywhere in the world and have men go, ugh?
Well, I mean,
No.
the modern standard, even, in this room, is still different to that of perhaps a Greek statue, perhaps closer than, the mainstream.
yourself.
But
But
they've got
But it
hourglass
seems to me,
forms.
on the subject that we're on about, it seems to me that basically, in terms of like female body standards, seem to for a very long time have been dictated by gay fashion models.
This is
the
exactly
people
my point.
behind them. Basically, female. All of a sudden in the 90s, where all the women looked like skinny, anemic twinks.
They didn't, though. On all the men's magazines, it was always just busty, curvacious women.
But who was on
Yeah,
the
but-
runway and who was
Yeah,
setting
but you
the
were just
trends
being
for the
a horn
runway?
dog with the men's magazine.
but it shows you that men's tastes haven't changed, right?
Oh no,
Yes.
no, I'm talking more about like what the mainstream. Was
Sure,
pushing.
sure, but like you say, that's what gay men think that women should look like. It's
Yeah.
like, 10-year-old boys. Okay, brilliant. I don't care about their opinion.
Yeah,
You know?
this is the point though.
skinny, feminine, petite women that's not necessarily something that looks like a young boy.
Josh just likes an ironing board with nipples, basically.
That's not true.
I'm not judging Josh.
but this is the
Josh goes by Milay's claim, "Viva las tetas." They ask him if he likes breasts.
Mm.
Or
Yeah,
What does that mean?
yeah.
long live the boobs.
Oh, yeah, well, I agree.
Have you seen his cabinet, Mike?
Yeah,
this
I
turning
have
into
seen
a-
that tweet.
Yeah.
Is this turning into a boobs via stream?
No, Harry.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
But it is confirmation of the fact that boobs and ass need to exist.
Well, yeah, that's why
Of
Kelly
course.
Brook was so popular.
Exactly.
But that was my point. It's a superimposition upon women from fashion trends by gay men, and now this is gay men superimposing fashion trends on men to mold them into the type of men that they fancy. So they're saying, yet with men, alternatives to the ideal of imposing physicality have usually been ignored or lampooned. But as women continue to use their voices to undo that legacy of toxic masculinity, written unironically, a different kind of change is taking place from within the culture. These twinks, after all, aren't just enviably lean boys or the latest unrealistic gay fantasy, but the new answer to the problem of what makes a man. They are trying to shape new men.
But they're also trying to do to women. And what essentially they're trying to do is androgynize everything, where everything gets a lot closer to the center. And that's actually the total opposite of what men and women actually desire. Like like the sort of Henry Cavill effect, right?
Yes.
Women absolutely adore Henry Cavill. It's like, why do you think that might be? He looks like a giant Chad. And then conversely, with Kelly Brook, why do men like Kelly Brook? Well, she is like literally like some sort of Venus statue.
Also, if you're going to mention Henry Cavill, it's important to say as well. Like outside of maybe one or two scenes that he's done for The Witcher and Superman, he's not like ridiculously lean and shredded either. He's just big. He's actually like some photos I've seen of him. Sometimes he can have a little bit of a paunch in when he's between roles.
Oh, and body shaming Henry Cavill.
I'm not body shaming him.
Poor
saying,
Henry.
no, I'm saying that's ideal dad bod right
Oh,
there.
yeah,
Enormous
yeah.
arms, bit of a dad belly.
It's because
Men
he's
of
the only one.
paunch unite. That's what I
Gorilla
say.
physiognomy.
He's the only one not on gear as well. Like, not being
Yeah.
funny. Have you seen Hugh Jackman coming back for Deadpool
Oh
3 yet?
yeah, and then he's
He looks
doing the
terrible, man.
and
No legs.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the big
yeah,
telltale sign.
and also The Rock as well, claiming that in his 50s that he is in the best shape of his life, completely natural, really high testosterone levels. When you're at that age, they'll be starting to go down, especially when you're keeping 5% body fat all year round.
Did you see Theo Vaughn try and tease Joe Rogan for his GHB physique?
GH.
Oh yeah,
He said
human growth hormone.
Yeah.
Gut.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
because Rogan showed him a video of him getting into an ice bath, and he said, "You look like a turkey." You know how they got those bits of string around them, and he was just like, "Oh, my six pack." And then Theo was just like, "Oh, yeah, that's what I meant."
He does look like a French bulldog going on its hind legs for a treat.
I can't shame Joe Rogan.
No, I like
Joe
Joe
Rogan.
Rogan. We are going to be
Yeah.
shaming Joe Rogan later on, but it's not us doing it. It's
I
someone
like
else.
all of these people that we're talking about, but if you're on gear, just admit it.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's like-
Although, to be fair, The Rock probably has contracts and NDAs that he's signed.
Well, same with John Cena, but nobody believes John Cena isn't on gear considering his forehead has grown in direct proportion to his arms.
And his hands as well. His hands are about 3 times bigger than they were in the early 2000s.
I'd like
That's a side effect, is it?
Yeah,
Natty
your
hand
hands-
transformation.
Your hands, your extraneous limbs get bigger.
So if I wanted
one
to
of the
become a
reasons
better
that-
guitar player and get bigger hands,
Like
I
if
can
you
start taking.
if you work
drugs.
out and you want to get big forearms, and that can be quite limited by the size of your wrist, even if you do loads of forearm work, the only way really to do it will be to get on loads of steroids and your forearms will explode.
Okay.
Fitness
I had
tips
no
for
idea.
Lotus Eaters.
Steroid advice now.
So this
I'm not
was,
saying take steroids. I'm saying that this is just the facts.
They
Yeah.
do
right?
shrink your testicles, so don't do it.
this piece ended up being very contentious and led to a bit of discourse within the progressive sphere. So there was an Atlantic piece that was, oh, there's a paywall up, John. If you don't mind fixing that, please. I wouldn't want to pay for that myself, let's be honest. But the Atlantic
Not really.
piece, there we go, in question was a direct rejoinder to the New York Times piece. And he starts writing, provocatively, Haramis uses the term twink, which is a gay male slang most used earnestly on hookup apps and porn sites. Glad this is being applied to describe this class of boyish men, even though many of the examples are straight. Ever it goes, straight culture steals from gay culture as casually as gay men steal from black women. Weird place to take it.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
I have no
Every-
idea what
every-
that session's
took a
about.
moment.
Everyone knows gay men steal from black women.
Well, if you look at the crime statistics, actually.
Just like black women steal from supermarkets. I mean, just
Everything's downstream from supermarkets.
Conveniently, though, for both gay men and black women, the Father's Day card aisle just remains untouched.
Yeah.
yeah, that's probably true.
But while it can remain fun to cackle at the gaucheness of such transactions, not all appropriations are equal. Who is harmed materially by Times readers partaking of the 2018 brunch banter cliche that Timothy Chalamet would do well at Fire Island? Certainly, if it's the age of the twink now, it's been the age of the twink all along. Slender, smooth types have achieved dreamy superstar status at a pretty steady pace over the years. What else to call Andrew Garfield, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Titanic hero Leo DiCaprio, Prince, Mick Jagger, or Hermes? Did he miss all of the 80s when like Sly Stallone and Schwarzenegger were the biggest possible stars?
I
I
remember
mean,
when
Sly and like Schwarzenegger was still very popular in the 90s as well.
But like honestly, when Gladiator came out, all the women I knew would go on about it. And I loved Gladiator. And I was like, yeah, it's great. And they're like, yeah, but I really like Russell Crowe. And I mean, I wish I would have been like, yeah, but in 20 years you won't.
I did wonder why
Also
my
on
girlfriend
that
at the time liked that
300.
film.
So
300. I don't know if that was
I think that was a
popular with women. I know.
no. I think that was a film for men, really.
Yeah. No, but I'm talking about male body standards.
Oh, no, Aragorn. Women that like Lord of the Rings
Aragorn.
find Aragorn really fit. And he's rugged and seasoned and definitely not a twink.
Well, he's a traditional man, isn't he?
This is turning into the gay rating men stream. I knew it would.
We will be dunking on it soon enough. In the same year we saw Chalamet's ascension, we also see mass swooning for Black Panther's Winston Duke. He's explicitly a counterexample in physical thickness, and his popularity also underlies a racial subtext to Haramis' argument. This is just them like a circular firing squad accusing each other of being weirdly racist.
yeah.
It's making so many cultural references. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know
understand.
any of these things.
So
Yeah.
Is he the big guy?
he's M'Baku.
Oh, all right. Okay. This just sounds to me like it's saying like women like real men, like real big black men. That sounds what
Yeah.
that kind of cultural subversion.
Yeah, so you can
No,
only
the adverts, man. We can't deny that that's something they want to push.
you can only be shredded and masculine if you're black, but if you're white, you have to be a twink. That is what is being implied here.
And now again, like I remember when Troy came out, and like all of the women's magazines were like, oh my god, Brad Pitt with muscles. Like they were all just going on about it. I was like, okay.
That was the mania around Fight Club as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There you go. So apparently there's something poetic in the otherwise risible idea that the emo boy of 2006, they're targeting you, Harry, is the hetero
I was
twink of
10 in
2018.
2006. I wasn't an emo. I never actually had. Josh was more of an emo than me.
I was not an emo. I was a skateboarder. That's very different.
You had an emo fringe. I've seen the pictures. You look
it
like
was a
Ian
Beatles.
Watkins.
It was a
from
Beatles
Lost
cut, all
Prophets.
right.
You look like Lost Prophets nonce singer.
I used to bully. I used to bully the emos in school. I wasn't.
Yeah,
one.
right before you nonced on him.
For legal
You know
reasons,
what
that's
we
a
were
joke.
saying earlier.
No, Ian Watkins is a nonce. He went to prison.
Yeah, I
Josh isn't.
Yeah, Josh isn't going to sue me. His pants.
Don't speak too soon. You're making me guilty by association here. You kind of look like a nonce, therefore you are one.
Physiognomy never lies.
This has gone downhill very quickly.
Yeah.
It started at the bottom.
So did you. Sorry.
To watch the full video, please become a premium member at lotuseaters.com.